Hi, my name is Heiko Durden. I'm the owner of the Wilton-based interior design and home staging company called HDS Design. I'm also known as a bit of a serial decorator, and that's why you're here. We're going to take you through all the upcoming holidays. Welcome to our home. So this is our family room. We have this oversized sectional that the whole family gets on. The dogs are on there. We're all watching TV. This fireplace was brick fireplace, so we had it refaced, and I made sure that I had a nicely sized mantle for all my holiday decor. For any kind of a garland type decoration, you always want to make sure that you measure out how much you need. Just use ribbon or twine and just go all around so you know how many pieces you're going to need. I always recommend doubling or tripling your garlands just because that fuller look looks better. More is more. And for this type of garland, I always recommend doubling, if not tripling, your garlands. Because this was so large, I could not do this as a one piece. It would have been very difficult to put up and even more difficult to take this down. So this is actually made up of 3 sections. All of it is held up by commando hooks. Those are really indispensable when putting up garlands, but you mustn't leave them on for year round because they will eventually get stuck on paint and be very difficult to take down. The sides are identical. They each start from about here. I have a hook here and another one over here, which helps this drape down. Each side has about 6 garlands that I wired together using floral wire. And then I added some lights to it. For fall decor, I really prefer using gold, yellow, or orange lights. They have a much softer glow than your winter. And I sort of wish that I had used even more garlands, maybe 2, maybe 4 on each side, just to make it look fuller. I still had some empty spots, so to fill those, I used these little pumpkins. I bought them at the dollar store, and they were this really, really horrid neon yellow. I added some pumpkins at the base and some more fairy lights. And now on to the middle section. I actually had a little bit of trouble here. I tried using a garland, and it looked so flat. It's just, it didn't look right. And then I started layering different pieces in, and it still looked really flat. So I ended up using the same trick as I did with the foyer. I had 4 golden planters, about 10 inches high and 6 inches wide, and I spaced those out here in the middle, and that became the back support for my center section. I use these long branches. I think they're about 4 or 5 feet long. I think I got them at Michael's on each side. Then over here in the center is a large centerpiece. And on its own, none of these pieces are that spectacular. It's only when you put them all together and you layer them that you will get the more lush, more decorated look. And then I added 2 swags. These are teardrop shaped swags. I love using swags for holidays. They're so thick and lush, and they can cover a lot of space. If you don't want to do the sides and you just want to decorate the length of the mantle, you could just buy 6 swags and kind of stagger them over, make sure to cover the end piece. They should look like one long piece over here, not as 6 separate items. After I put the swags in, I noticed though that they had a lot of this burnt orangey maroony color that didn't go with the rest of the color. So I used this inexpensive yellow leaf garland, and I kind of tied it over and around, and that helps it blend together. The center is made up of 3 bush picks. Picks can be anything from little pumpkins to grass to whatever, they're on the stems. Bush picks have several branches and they're a little bit fuller, so I had one on either side and one in the center. And then I just started adding little decorative items. I have a bunch of these little guys, these tiny picks of different colors, so you just go around and see where do you need to add something. I have a berry garland in the way back. I added some pheasant feathers that I bought I think on eBay. I added these berry picks here, little gourds. And I just layered in some seed pods that I think I got at the floral wholesale place, but you can find them online, and I'm pretty sure Michael's carries it too. You have these tiny pear and apple. I think these are ornaments. You can use them at Christmas, put them into a little bowl on the table, but they work with my color scheme over here. And don't get stressed out if it doesn't look right. Just take a step back, look at it, go have lunch, come back, and just keep on playing with it. It's not rocket science. And because it's so messy, you can make mistakes and no one would know. I also added these. I want to show you some of the picks. This is also considered a push pick because it has several different branches. And then you just go at an angle and work it in here. It's not... it doesn't have to be identical, and it isn't obviously, but you do want to keep the same symmetry. So if you're adding these branches here, make sure that you do the same on this side so it kind of reads as one big garland. That's the effect that you're going for. Now I know that we're not really entertaining, we're not having friends and family over, and that's really disappointing. I also know many of you don't even feel like decorating. A friend of mine just told me, why am I doing all this? Who's gonna see this? And I see her point, but I also feel like you're decorating for you and for your family. If you didn't do this, it would make you feel even worse than before. So I say go ahead and decorate. Halloween's coming. I wanted to show you a really fun Halloween tablescape that you could do just for you and your kids. I tend to theme my dinner parties at times, and kids love it. They remember the music, they remember everything. Even if you're just ordering Chinese food, I think if you have a special tablescape for that, it will be a fun memory for everybody.
All right.
So here's our Halloween tablescape. For the centerpiece, I used magnolia branches, purple Bertea flowers, just because they reminded me of something spooky. I think Trader Joe's has them. If not, you could just use different colored mums or something dark and purple. I also added pheasant feathers just because I have them on the mantle, and I like to have the rooms sort of talk to each other as far as decor goes. Now for each table setting, I found these really beautiful table mats at the open house in town. The chargers are from Michael's, and this china I've had forever. I'm not sure where I bought this, but I love the color and the gold, and it just tends to work really well with the fall holidays. These napkins, I think, are my summer napkins, but I just liked how this color scheme works together. Little tortoise shell napkin rings. I have this fun little crackers from Williams-Sonoma. Kids love these. And for the decor, I use these fun little gargoyles to add some ambiance. Dark pumpkins that I had laying around, some pomegranate. You don't have to have specific decor. You can just sort of go around the house and just see what makes sense. I have these, and I scattered about these tiny spider rings. And I think the crystal classes sort of add some gravitas, and I love gravitas. And I think these are Ralph Lauren, but you can find crystal now at any place. Like the thrift stores are full of it because people don't really entertain the same way that they used to. You can find them at DJ Maxx and Home Goods. And I kind of love how this came out. Christmas is my favorite holiday. I just love the magic that you can create, the fantasy, the drama. There's really no rules. You can experiment and do whatever it is that you like. The way I approached Christmas decorating for the longest time was to basically bring everything up, or rather have my husband cart all the bins up and then just throw everything out on every vertical surface. And don't take me wrong, it's very festive, but I just didn't like it. It felt very cluttered and busy and just wasn't the look I was after. So I decided to be more deliberate about my Christmas decor, and I started coming up with themes. So one year we did a woodland theme. I had these owl ornaments, I had lots of bird ornaments. I used little bird houses as tree toppers. We did winter wonderland with lots of fake snow and silver and gold. I had polar bears and reindeer. Kids' favorite though is the Candyland theme. They keep asking for it every year. I would make these ornaments out of foam, these peppermint candy ornaments, and I hand painted them. I used little beach balls from Walmart and wrapped them in plastic wrap, and that became my candy underneath the tree. I made these ginormous lollipops out of pool noodles and PVC pipes and a lot of hot glue. We loved it. And for this year's theme, I decided to do something a bit more formal. I have a client that moved out of state that gifted me these beautiful Christopher Rathko ornaments. And if you're familiar with Christopher Rathko, his ornaments are very, very colorful. They're often oversized and they're very, very detailed and elaborate. Our Christmas tree is in this room, so I knew that the mantle had to have the same color scheme as the tree would, and it took me a minute to come up with something that would match all these colors. So I decided to do so for a garland like this, you need tons of ornaments. I am short on this garland. I wasn't really happy with the way it turned out, but it was a little too late for me to make any changes. You need shatterproof ornaments. You need heavy duty hooks. This thing came down twice and it was not pretty. And you definitely want to make sure that you buy extra ornaments. I cannot emphasize this enough. I think this garland has about 250 ornaments, and I easily could have used double that, if not more. It's all held up by these hooks, and the garland is made separately of smaller garlands. I used floral wire, and then you just slide the ornament in. You twist it, then you add another one, leave some space in between, and then you want to kind of tuck it in here and secure it with more wire. I have a variety of ornament sizes here, and if you don't feel like coming up with a theme for Christmas, and that's fair. I had a girlfriend who said, "Theme? What do you mean Christmas is the theme for Christmas?" I still recommend that you decide ahead of time what your color scheme is going to be, and then repeat that from room to room. You can use different types of ornaments for your color. You can use ribbon. That's a very inexpensive way to bring in some color. And then you can really just experiment and see what works for you and your home. If you have a rustic log house, I wouldn't do very glam design. And likewise, if you have a very beautiful and sophisticated colonial, maybe the farmhouse decor just doesn't quite translate. There was a lot of colors here. I was trying to keep it to red and green. You can use silver and gold as an accent color. If you decide to use just one color, I would still do different tones of that color. It just gives you more depth and dimension and interest. And as far as this garland here, this is obviously fake, and fake is really easy to use. It just has wire in it. It's easier to manipulate. But I usually, for Christmas, mix real and fake. We're filming this in the middle of October, so real isn't readily available right now, but nothing quite beats the smell and the look of a real evergreen. And not only do I mix fake and real, I also like to mix my real pieces. So you get spruce, you can get pine, you can get boxwood. I love magnolia. So there's a lot of different things you can do to decorate.
Cool.
So there's really countless of color combinations that you can try. Use ribbon, use ornaments, use cinnamon bark, you can use dried orange slices. There's so many different things to try, but you have to plan this out ahead of time. This type of a thing is not something to decide on trying the day after Thanksgiving. You're going to end up stressed out and decide not to do anything at all, or just go with whatever you already had. Plan this out ahead of time, make sure you own what you need or go out and buy it, and kind of sketch it out for yourself so this will go down a little bit easier. Thank you for watching. Happy holidays.